Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Spotlight Tuesdays with Coach BJ. Come on into this live today. I am so excited to share my guest and her wonderful talent she have. I am so excited to share this with you. So come on into this live today. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. You're in for a treat today. You're in for a treat today. Good afternoon, Caroline. Hello. She says hi.
Hey, Caroline.
Welcome to today's live. I'm glad that you can join us. If you're coming in, you can let us know you are here and saying hello. We are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share with those who might be coming in new or watching the replay. Good afternoon, Deborah. Good to see you. Thank you for joining as always. Thank you for coming on. So for those of you who are new or maybe watching the replay for the first time, I am Coach BJ and I am the host of Spotlight Tuesdays, which is my newest platform that I started earlier this year. And this platform is streamed live every first and third Tuesdays of the month at noon. And as I share with everyone, the purpose of Spotlight Tuesdays with me is twofold. Good afternoon, Deidre. Good to see you. Is that my hope is that the guests that come on, which are small business owners and also nonprofit organization executive directors and founders, come onto the show, and I want to spotlight their organization or their business for two reasons. One, want to really be able to talk to them and kind of interview them to find out, what inspired them to start their business, their gifting, what they've had to do to start their business, and really step out on faith in hopes that you will find within yourself what you are inspired to do to give back to this world, as our entrepreneurs and as our nonprofit organization founders are currently doing right now. And the other part of it is for you to, if you feel so led to do, is to support their business or their organization. For their businesses, for instance, if you are interested in their products or services or know someone that might be, then you can feel free to share their information and let someone know they're out there doing great things out here in the community. And then for our nonprofit organizations, if you want to give your time, talent, and resources to volunteer, if there is a purpose in that nonprofit organization that you are drawn to, then you can feel free to also connect with them. So that is the purpose of Spotlight Tuesdays for those who might be watching for the first time. So before we get started, I'd like to let everyone know to go ahead and put your questions as we go through this live in the chat for our guest. Some of the questions we may be able to answer for you real time. And then other questions, we may have to pause and wait towards the end of the live in order to address those questions. Just depending on where we are in the segment, but typically we're able to answer those questions real time for you. So let me introduce our special guest today, Miss Bernadette Birch. She is the business owner of Over and Beyond Events. And Bernadette and I actually met at Coca-Cola some years and years and years and years ago. We may look like we're still 19, but we met each other some years ago at the Coca-Cola company. And we moved from being co-workers to very close friends. She is a special person in my life. She is a sweetheart, and I just love her to death. And I love the fact that she's doing great work with her business, which is Over and Beyond Events Planning Services, where she specializes in bringing a client's vision to life based on whatever event they're looking to do, from birthdays to weddings to showers to graduations to parties to intimate things, which we'll get into. So I just wanted to let you know how I met my guest today. She's a beautiful person, and I'm so glad to be able to share her with everyone on this platform. So Bernadette, I'm sure everyone would like to hear from you now. So
Okay.
a little bit about your background. What would you like us to know before we get started with talking about Over and Beyond Events?
Okay. Well, I just wanted to share that I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, I have been in Atlanta, in Decatur, for the majority of my years since I was 3 years old. So I definitely claim to be a Georgia peach. Um,
Okay.
I attended Redan High School in Stone Mountain, Georgia, for those of you all that are familiar with the Atlanta metropolitan area. I also attended Alabama A&M University in Normal, Huntsville, Alabama. And I did get my EMBA from Kennesaw State University. Outside of my schools, I do have a loving 3-year-old son. His name is Harrison, whom I adore truly. And I also really, really enjoy spending time with my family and friends, eating at different restaurants, traveling, and just trying new experiences. So that's just a little bit about me.
Very nice, and I love the Harrison. I tell you, he is a talker, and boy, I say he just
Oh, yes.
Um, Bernadette, so your background, as you mentioned, really is in business, and as we worked together in sales and marketing when we were in corporate America. So, can you tell us, when did you make the shift into event planning? Was it a talent you just somewhat stumbled upon, or was it like something you have been, always good at and just have done?
Well, I did want to share that throughout the majority of my time within corporate, I all of my jobs have pretty much been in building relationships with clients. So I was
Mhm,
definitely able to use those transferable skills in selling and account management to
mhm.
over in my event business. I have been doing events for over 15 years, mainly for family and friends in the very beginning, taking charge and planning birthday dinners, trips for girlfriends when we would take spring break trips and summer trips, and just always being that go-to reference friend for getting ideas on what can I do for this or what can I do for that. So that was about over 15 years ago. And then about 10 years ago in 2011, I actually started really getting serious about events because I really could tell that it was my true passion. I could honestly even find myself sometimes at work, taking my lunch break and going into my car or just going into the cafe with my notepad, taking notes and reaching out to clients for weekend events. So I knew that it was definitely something that I was interested in and that I was doing outside of my regular 9 to 5.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. Well, no, there's something to be said, and I say that is because I think a lot of people believe that they have to wait for just the right time to kind of do
Oh
something
no,
they're
you got to
passionate
make
about,
the
or
time.
just
You got to
start.
make the time and just start.
Exactly. Like you say, you just got to make the time. You went into your car on lunch breaks, you make calls, you do whatever you need to do. It's on your own time. You do what you need to do to plan those evenings or weekend events that's outside of your normal working hours just to get started, just to gain that
Exactly.
experience. So, I mean, I love that. And I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yes.
So the next question I want to ask you is
Well,
that, oh,
just
go
real
ahead.
quick, I just wanted to add one more little piece. So
Sure.
I did have to take a quick pause because I thought that I wanted to further my corporate career. And so I decided to, you know what, let me try to go back and get my MBA. So I did that. It took about 2 years. So
Mhm.
during that time, I put a pause on event planning. And after I finished getting my MBA, I was blessed with my son. So that took a little bit more time off of my calendar. And once I had my son and I, felt back to myself, I said, you know what, I'm ready to take that leap of faith and get serious about my business. So that's when I actually decided to rebrand my business. I got my website up. My girlfriend actually had a grand opening, JW Event Suites off Eagles Landing Parkway. She had a
Mhm.
grand opening and she called me and said, would you like to be one of my preferred vendors for event planning? And I said,
Wow.
really? Yes, I want you to be one of my preferred vendors. I said, oh my goodness, I'm not ready. I don't have a website. I've got these old business cards. I haven't created any type of social media platform. And she says, well, you got 2 weeks, so get it going. So
Wow.
during those 2 weeks, I actually reached out to a girlfriend. She assisted me with creating my website, rebranding my whole line, getting my business cards up and running. And I actually created an Instagram page and a Facebook page. And I'm happy to announce that I was able to organically gain. I'm at 2,800 followers now, and I'm really excited about that. I haven't had to purchase any followers. I haven't had to purchase any likes. It's just been truly organic. So I'm really excited about that.
Wow, that is awesome. And I'm glad you stopped me to really take that a bit further, because I would like to even piggyback off of that to say that, it's also important that you don't lose sight. Like she said, that she had to take a pause. She went back to school, then she had her son, but it still did not prevent her from keeping her eyes on the vision, on the prize of doing what she has been called to do. And that's what I want people to understand is that, I mean, a lot of times we do have those forks in the road, and we come to situations that will cause us to kind of get off track. But as long as you are motivated enough and you have it in your mind that this is my gift and this is what I was called to do, then I'm going to continue to move forward. So that's what I love about what she said. And another key thing that I heard that she mentioned in there too is that you want to make sure that you are always prepared. She would have never thought she would have gotten that call, and she wasn't necessarily prepared. But guess what? She did what she needed to do to get it together to make sure that she was accountable and saying, hey, I'm going to get this work. It was an experience and a offer, of a lifetime for her, given that she was just doing it kind of on the side. And wow, now I'm really connecting with someone, in my industry that's looking at my work and want to hire me as a vendor. Like, that was awesome. So another thing to always keep in mind is that, there may be a dry season where you may not have anything going, but just know that that season will not last, and you will come to a point where you will have a fruitful season where you may be connected with someone who can actually help you take your business to the next level. So thank you for mentioning that, Bernadette. That was really great.
Yes.
One of the other things I wanted to know is what made you turn your love for event planning into a business, which is a great segue, versus going to work for somebody else or working in connection with someone in the business. Like, what made you just say, you know what, I want to do my own thing versus maybe, I'm going to say always, how can I put it, being the background singer. You have the people that are in the front, but then you have the people who just remain as a background singer versus like taking their career, as a single artist themselves. So what made you turn your love and passion as an event planner into a business versus just, again, working in the industry with someone else who had a company?
Well, I will say that I am a take charge type of person, and I feel like I always have something to say and something to add. So I knew that I did not want to work with anyone else, that I wanted to take off and do my own thing. And during that time, I will say that since COVID-19, that is what really forced me to kind of take a leap out on faith to really push my business forward. Because when everything hit, we all just thought, oh, this will be something that'll be over within 3 weeks and we'll be back to normal. Here we are, it's a year from the date, and we still are not at a really, really good place. I mean, of course,
Right.
we've gotten vaccinated and everything, and people, Atlanta actually never shut down. Once the mayor and the governor said things have to stop in Atlanta, 80% of my events got canceled for 2021. And just kind of taking a step back in 2020, I could tell that my business was going to be great for 2021. So when COVID-19 hit, like I said, 80% of my events got canceled. A few of my events actually got kind of pushed out till next year, or to the previous year. So I had to, again, take another step back, sit back and say, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I was really dependent on these events. I was off to a great start. What is it that I can actually do in order to continue doing things within the area that I love, which are events, but trying to make some additional money in other areas? And once everything shut down and people started doing small, intimate gatherings, I decided to start a yard sign business, greeting signs. And so for those of you all that are not familiar, when you're driving in neighborhoods and you see the big signs that say happy birthday, congratulations, happy retirement, happy anniversary, I decided to do that because I thought that would still be an extra touch and something nice for families, especially with everything happening, to see people smile. I've received some of the best messages from families that said, you don't understand how you made my daughter feel. My mom cried. And those are the types of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to make a positive impact still within the event industry. And believe it or not, just getting those signs and making an investment into the sign business actually increased my event business even more, because they would say, hey, can you bring a balloon garland, or can you bring a cake, or can you bring some, additional cookies to go along with this sign? And so that really increased my my business as well. So COVID-19 really honestly pushed my business in a positive way. And I'm just truly blessed, because a lot of businesses weren't able to say that. A lot of the event businesses that I know actually had to shut down for a while and are still shut down because they just, couldn't stay afloat. So I'm really excited that, again, I was able to make COVID-19 something positive for Over and Beyond events.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that is amazing. And yes, you are blessed because there are a lot of people who during COVID had to really shift and, try to pivot to see what can they do with their business. And what I heard you say there is that, one of the things, you were able to do because outside was really the place to be is that you weren't doing yard signs initially. And so
Yeah.
you had to kind of incorporate that into your business as a way to be able to, hey, let's make money, because a lot of people were doing that during when it was a high season, and people are still doing it, right now to this day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great way to pivot to incorporate more business. And to your point, people are going to always find a little something extra, but can you do this and can you bring this, as you mentioned? So, that was definitely a great way to pivot for sure. One of the other things that, kind of a reverse question in that same vein is, you know, how did you take over and beyond events from just having a few clients? Because you mentioned that, you were doing this, kind of as your side hustle a little bit when you were working full time on the weekends and the evenings and whenever you could get dates into events. So, it starts off always with any new business kind of slow. So how did you grow your client base from, a few clients to multiple clients? Like, how did you grow and make that transition? What tips can you share with others to grow their brand and their business? And even you mentioned earlier about growing your Instagram account to 2,800 followers, which is amazing and really great. And so I would love for you to share with some of those who are out there who are either in business or they are looking to start their business, try to see, really a way for them not to get discouraged. Because a lot of times you can, if you feel like I've been in it for 6 months or a year and man, I'm just still making the same amount and I'm still having the same amount of clients and stuff. So how can you, share with them how to kind of grow their brand a little bit beyond where they are right now?
Well, I'll start off by saying that originally my business was just strictly word of mouth, just family and close friends that knew, that I had a passion for the event industry, and they would just kind of spread the word to others. And just from past clients that I had worked with, they would, kind of just spread the word. But again, like I mentioned, after I had my son, I decided that I wanted to take my business up a notch. And so that meant for me to reinvest back into my business. So I, again, created a website. I got on two of the largest social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook. And I mean, I started from scratch. So just making sure I was posting pictures daily, because of course, the more you post, the more you're visible. And when you don't post, out of sight, out of mind. So just making sure that I'm constantly posting on a daily basis, posting positive affirmations, positive content, just to kind of get my followers more engaged. And it's funny, I was actually just talking to Coach B saying that I need to do a better job of posting lives. So I've challenged myself. I have two birthday parties that I'm doing this weekend to actually go live on those events and not only just take pictures of before and after, but actually physically get my camera and turn the video on. Record myself while I'm setting up the event so that people can actually see the ins and outs of what I'm actually doing to make that, occasion a beautiful one for my clients.
Gotcha.
Staying on the course, making sure that I'm posting daily and doing different things in order to kind of get myself seen from other people that may not know me, and constantly putting videos on the Instagram stories and the Facebook stories so that people can kind of see what I'm doing and who I am.
Gotcha. Okay. And, one of the last questions I'll ask you before we allow you to get into the topics and actually see some of your work. I always kind of like to ask this question to entrepreneurs or, founders of organizations is that, what is one of the biggest mistakes or obstacles you have faced since being in business? How did you move beyond it?
Okay. Well, I'll say back in 2011, when I kind of wanted to get my feet wet and get out there a little bit more from just doing events for family and friends, I felt like I kind of second guessed myself. And I say that because when I would give people my prices, a lot of people would say, oh, I don't really have that, or ooh, that was out of my budget, or really wasn't trying to spend that much. I started giving a lot of people discounts, and also even sometimes doing free events just to gain, bartering and doing free events just to gain notary with people. And I said, once I got serious to take my event service up a notch, creating that website and putting myself out there, I wasn't going to do that anymore. So, if people couldn't afford my services, then hey, maybe we can work together next time, or come back whenever you're able to afford me. So just sticking to my guns, making sure that within the packages that I've created, that I uh, make it a serious matter for my business, not accommodating the people, not giving them free things, not working on the hookups and and doing
Right.
those things, but truly believing in myself and in my business, because I know that my work speaks for itself.
Right. And I mean, and that's the thing. People will try to take advantage of you, unfortunately, when you do have those family, friends, connections. And it's not because they don't want to spend the money, because people, as you know, will spend money on what they want to spend money on, whether it's standing in line to get the latest sneakers, or, going here to get an outfit for a special occasion, will spend $200, $300 tops, whatever the case may be. You're going to spend money on what you really want. But most people feel like if they can get away with it and they can take an advantage of you, they will do that. And so
Definitely.
you have to learn as a business owner, like most people, I will tell them that you have to learn how to draw a line in the sand to say, I'm not going to cross this line because I know my worth. And really, a lot of times it's just about us knowing our worth and how we value ourselves in our business. And so that's really a good call out that you made about that, is because a lot of new business owners, and it included myself, when I started coaching, it was very hard, because I'm like, how am I going to have people to pay me for, for what I do? But, again, it's a gift that God has given us. And again, God didn't give us this gift just to give it away. He give us gifts to build wealth. Right. And so we can do everything within reason, but at the same time, you don't want to be taken advantage of. So great on that, for sure. So, actually, Bernadette, but before we get into Bernadette giving some topics, she's going to be covering creative ideas to make your special occasions memorable during this pandemic, because we're still dealing with, the side effects of the pandemic. Then she's going to cover her top do's and don'ts in event planning. So she's going to be covering that with us. But first, before we do that, I wanted to kind of take a pause and really share some of the beautiful work that Bernadette does in her business. And then once the video montage is over, then I'm going to let Bernadette take it over to discuss those topics. And then we'll close on out for any other questions that you guys may have as we're going through the process. So let's take a look. Let me cue everything up. Okay. These are various baby showers that she have done, corporate events that she have done, table place setting and a tent setup of an outdoor event. This is a sample of a few weddings that she have done as well. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you.
And this is actually a grand opening of a business. That switched kind of fast. Dessert table. Corporate events is almost like it got a slow start for Uptown Magazine. She did a corporate event for Uptown Magazine. And so that was just a few of pieces of her work that she did that we wanted to share with you, but she has done a great job. I think that kind of went a little fast. We'll just kind of replay that a little bit. Want to be able to pause on one of the ones that went really fast, but a lot of people don't think about when you open up a business to really have someone to come out and do a grand opening for you. And so I think it came after that one.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to take a pause on a few of these. Seem like some were longer than others. So here's like the dessert table for a 40th birthday party. And Bernadette, was this for another birthday party, like a 50th birthday party? This other dessert?
The picture at the bottom was for a 50th birthday party.
Yeah, so these are like the dessert tables for a 50th and 40th birthday party. And you see the 40th birthday party apparently had a theme going on with it. So
yes, both parties had themes, and they were also customized. So depending on what event, you can actually get, for instance, cookies customized with the client's name, something about them, their age, where they're graduating from, just different things about them. So of course, all of my clients really like them because they're specialized and personalized just for them.
Okay. And the next one should be coming up soon. What was that? The last one? I don't think it was. Oh, Uptown Magazine. And this was like a theme for this was an 80th birthday party.
Yes.
And so this shows also a lot of the services or whatever. I'll go ahead and show this now since it's a part of this is, again, baby showers, birthday parties, promotional events, graduation, gender reveals, corporate events, virtual events, weddings, rehearsal dinners, bridal showers, etc. So you see that she does a lot. And again, she have also created a lot of intimate events and memories for her clients as well during the pandemic. So she is very talented, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is just have Bernadette talk to us about the topics that I mentioned that she would be covering on there. So Bernadette, I will let you take it away.
So just in regards to the pandemic, as I mentioned, I kind of had to take a step back again and just kind of think of some creative things that I could do to offer my clients in the midst of these unforeseen times. And so I decided that instead of the grandiose events that we were used to, kind of taking a scale back and doing like micro events and more intimate family gatherings. So we came up with doing virtual packages. We've actually created some virtual packages for corporations that were having events for their employees. I also did some very small, intimate outdoor events with birthday parties, drive-by birthday parties, and also have some coming up, graduation parties. And I also just had a soror that became a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She wanted to celebrate with family and friends. And so I assisted her with a huge yard sign and some additional decor to go along with that yard sign. And that yard sign was customized with the school that she crossed, her number, her line name, and the possibilities are just endless. So just keeping those things in mind that although these are smaller events and drive-by events, we still can make your dreams a reality by creating something special for you and for your family. And touching on the do's and don'ts in the event industry, I just kind of wanted to share a few of my do's and don'ts, and I didn't want to keep you all too long, so I just came up with 3 do's and 2 don'ts. So my 3 do's are pictures. When you are creating a fun and festive event for family and friends, you want to make sure that there is a picture area that's fun and interactive. And as you all know, social media is the most popular thing out there besides just having a cell phone. And everybody wants to take pictures. They want to post their pictures on Facebook and Instagram immediately. And they just want to have fun while doing it. So make sure you have a fun and interactive area in your home, like a yard sign, or just like a customized backdrop that would include something special about that person, whether it be their name, their age, how old they've turned, or whatever accomplishment they've worked hard for, along with possibly some balloons or a nice chair for you and your guests to sit and take pictures or even stand with family and friends around that area, just to kind of liven it up and have some fun. Another do's is to have treats and souvenirs at your events. Making sure that, like I said, that dessert table that Coach B shared with you all kind of showcases that client and with whatever they're celebrating for their birthday or for their anniversary or for their retirement party. Just making sure that you have some type of customized treat or souvenir that that guest can actually take home with them so that they can always remember that event. I actually just did a 41st birthday party because she could not celebrate her 40th birthday due to COVID. But she did have cupcakes, and we customized them with happy birthday in her name. And we also had wine glasses that we actually gave away with her theme on the wine glasses as well. And that was a nice extra touch. So all of her guests could actually eat something sweet on the way out, and they were actually able to carry a wine glass with them when going home. So that was definitely a nice touch. And then my other do is for food. And when you're preparing for a party, you want to make sure that all of your guests are satisfied. So you want to make sure you're accommodating your guests that are vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, and even for your non-pork eaters. You want to make sure that you have a plethora of food for everyone at your party, because you don't want people to feel left out or feel like they haven't gotten enough to eat. So just making sure you have enough food and different types of food for everyone that will be coming to your party, because everyone, we're on a healthy lifestyle kick now, and people have definitely changed the way they're eating and doing different things in order to accommodate them.
Mhm.
And I also want to share two don'ts. Plastic. I do not like plastic tableware in regards to tablecloths. Making sure you have a nice tablecloth on your table. I know the plastic is cost effective and it's easier to clean up and just trash, but just making sure that you have a very nice tablecloth to complement your event, because it looks cleaner, it's more polished, and it definitely steps your event up a notch to make it a little bit more upscale. So making sure you just have a nice table setting on your table when you're having an event. And then lastly, just making your guests feel comfortable. Since COVID-19 has been here with us, a lot of guests are opting to have events outside. And so just making sure that in those warmer weathers, you have a tent set up just to block some of the sunlight. Also making sure you have nice fans that have a cool breeze. And some of the fans even now have like a mist that sprays out on your guest if your guests choose to have that. And then also just making sure that in those cooler climates, when you're having events outside in the later evenings, that you do have heaters, fire pits, and also some type of nice blanket for those guests that want to be comfortable at an outside party. So just making sure you have, those things for the cooler climates and also the warmer climates as well. Just making a personal touch, because of course, as an event planner, I do pay attention to the smallest detail. So just making sure that you are following those guidelines when you are having an outdoor party, especially since COVID has come. So
Well,
those are
Bernadette,
all of the tips that I did want to share. And I also wanted to let you know that as an event planner, I know a lot of us think that we can do it on our own, but please reach out to Over and Beyond Events. If you are having a smaller intimate gathering or a larger party, I can definitely assist you in making sure that you are staying on task, that your event is flowing smoothly throughout the entire time, if you choose to hire me to be at the event the entire time. And just making sure that you definitely are capturing those special moments for your for whomever you're having your party for, if it's for yourself or for someone else, and just making sure that you're paying attention to those smaller details, because they do matter. So thank you.
can I tell you, those are some wonderful tips. And even if you are trying to do something on a budget, or you can't afford her services right now, at least she gave you some ideas to make sure that your event, really looks nice and really stands out. And some of the do's and don'ts that she mentioned. So Bernadette, I appreciate you for that. We do have one question that came in so far that you can answer for us. And if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to share with us. So Caroline has a question that she asks, does your package include catering and or desserts?
Well, I'll be honest and say that since COVID-19, I actually have stopped my packages, and I'm just kind of tailoring to each client that calls. Because the needs of the clients have definitely changed in regards to the amount of guests that they're inviting. So I kind of have a proposal set up with that client where I actually talk with them over the phone, and we kind of discuss like their must-haves and what they actually want. And in asking them those questions, I do ask, are you interested in a caterer? And or are you interested in having cake or additional sweet treats? And then once that client tells me if they're interested, I will include it in the proposal that I actually send back to them. So yes, I do have preferred vendors for catering and also for desserts.
I do have a question, Bernadette. And if anyone else has a question, please feel free to put them in the chat. I will place them up on the board for Bernadette to answer, but I'm going to go and ask my question. So if someone is looking to hire an event planner, what are some of the things that you would like for them to know before giving you a call? Like, what are some of the things you would say, make sure you know, I'm going to make it up, your budget, make sure you know, all of these specific things. What are some of the questions, like in your discovery session and in your initial consultation, that you ask them that they may need to already have prepared before they call Bernadette at Over and Beyond Events? What are some of those things you would want them to know to be able to tell you right off in order to be able to make an assessment of what you can do for them?
Okay, that's a good question. On my website, I actually do have an inquiry form, and that
Okay.
inquiry form actually lists out all of the questions that I have that I feel like are very important for me to kind of know ahead of up front. So when I do call that client back, well, that potential client back, I already have a lot of the information that I need in front of me,
Mhm.
and that will kind of assist me in assessing their needs. I also do share with the client the potential client, while I have them on the phone, because I am hoping that they turn into a client. I do have an event consultation fee that I do charge, and that charge includes all of the research that I'm doing, reaching out to all of my vendors to ask for pricing for specifics that the potential client has. And then once they pay their fee, I will then, within 48 hours, send them back all of my suggestions and all of my feedback from the recommendations that I'm providing them for their event. And at that time, they can decide whether or not they would like to move forward with me and my services. And if they do, that fee will be applied towards their overall total. And then if they're not interested, they actually have a credit that they can keep from a year from the date that that proposal was given to come back to me for any future events.
That's pretty cool, because I didn't really realize that you could, really just do that. What if you even maybe wanted to do your event on your own on a grand scale? Maybe you couldn't necessarily afford to actually hire you, but they can at least pay you for your expertise and research to
Exactly.
be able to bring it to life or whatever. So that, I'm glad you said that, because me personally, I didn't know that. I thought, hey, once you go with someone, you just have to pay the whole thing and just be ready to,
Oh
spend.
yeah, no. I will say that I have had some instances where people did not choose to go with me, but from the ideas that I gave them, they were able to kind of do their own DIY if they chose to, or they were
Mhm.
able to go a cheaper route, but they were able to still implement some of the ideas that I gave them. And it was fine because they, paid me that consultation fee, and I was able to help them out with at least getting their party started off the ground.
That's good to know. So, like when I'm recommending your business and other business, good to know these things. So when I talk to people and they say, hey, I want to do this. Okay, well, why don't you connect with this person, because this person does X? So
Right.
it gives me and also the viewers an opportunity to of course, to know all the bells and whistles and everything that you have to offer, so they can be able to also, share this information, if they can use it personally or even share it with a family or friend, to let them know, hey, that I saw on Spotlight Tuesdays that Over and Beyond Events do this X, Y, and Z. So that's an opportunity. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yes.
Um, excuse me. So if there's no one else that have any questions in the chat, I am going to go ahead and put Bernadette's information up here again, so we can be able to see all of the services that she provides. And I'm going to also put her contact information up here as well, so you can be able to go to her website for more information, and also be able to follow her on IG and Facebook, which is at Over and Beyond Events. And Beyond is spelled BYOND
Yes.
versus the normal spelling BEYOND. So again, website is www.overandbeyondevents.com, or again, her Instagram and Facebook is the @ Over and Beyond Events.
Yes.
So I'm going to check the chat one more time to see if there's any other questions. If not, we will let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I don't see any additional questions or anything in the chat, but I just wanted to, Bernadette, again, thank you so much for being a guest
No,
today.
thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you guys, as always, I love you guys. I thank you guys for watching. If anyone is going to be watching the replay, if you have any questions that you want to ask of me or of Bernadette with Over and Beyond Events, please message me or feel free to reach out to her directly. on her website or again on her social media platforms. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.